could all together recite the invocation prayer. We are now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom now, erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world, according to thy perfect law. Now, since this is the third Sunday of Advent, we will be lighting the Advent candles.
So as we light the first Advent candle, there we go. We hold in our hearts a vision of hope and faith. As we light the second candle, bring to mind the feeling of peace in our heart, and peace for the world. And this week, we light the candle, the third candle, for love. As we come to that place to remember that love is the truth of who we are.
Scripture calls me to recognize love as the greatest of spiritual blessings. Today I will take the words of the Apostle Paul to heart and abide in love everywhere I go. To the marketplace, I spread my warmth with kind interactions with clerks and fellow customers. At meetings, whether work-related or social, I offer words of cheer that greet everyone as a beloved child of God. I express my love in moments of unconditional appreciation to all people. The more I look for reasons to share my love, the more I will find, especially during the Advent season. There are many opportunities to visit, to care, to give. I will choose the ones that fill my heart to overflowing. Today I will abide in love. And now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. And the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians 13:13.
Now you'll join me in saying our statement of being together. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. That is the truth of who we are. Let's take that truth into our meditation time. Let's Take a deep breath right where you are. And as you exhale, allow yourself to release everything that you can. Take in one more breath, collective breath, and feel the energy of this room. And as you exhale, let go of the rest. I'd like you to imagine a bright, warm, radiant light coming down from the top of your head and just pouring over you. Over your eyes, your memories, your thoughts, your nose, your ears, your mouth, your chin. Just feel the warmth of this light coating you, covering you, embracing you, pouring down over your neck and your shoulders, bringing a sense of calm and peace and radiance to each cell, to each organ, to each bone, pouring down over your arms, your chest, your back, your wrist, your hands, your hips, down through your legs, your knees, your feet into the earth. Then we bring that warm, radiant light back up from the top of our feet, moving through every part of our body, filling us with this radiance. This bright glow of life, of love. Just allow yourself to feel your entire being, your essence. Embrace, wrap in this love. This love that exceeds anything we've known in this human realm. Allow yourself to feel love in this moment, unconditionally. Allow yourself to affirm that you are loving in this moment. And know that you are loved. Just take the next moment to think through your life the moments of love. Reflect those moments. Allow yourself to feel a moment of gratitude. Remembering back to when you were a child, growing up. Through the days and the months and the years that brought you here. Step into one moment of love right now, a moment that brings a smile to your face. And imagine yourself feeling it, experiencing it right now. Step into that moment. Remember and feel what you felt in that time. Allow that smile to return to your face. Now step into another moment of love where you felt yourself proud to give yourself or watching a loved one. You felt so good in that moment. Step into that moment right now. Feel that moment of pride, a moment of gratitude right here, right now. And one more time, let's step into a moment where we felt someone loving us, where we felt their love through acts of kindness or through a warm embrace, through kind words, compliment. Enduring love. Remember how you felt in that moment when you experienced that love. And step into it right now. Now bring to moment any other moments of love that come to your memory. Maybe a moment where you loved your child or you felt the love of a parent. Stack those moments, those precious memories in your heart, as many as you can, whatever comes to your mind. And feel them as if they're heavy right now. Feel gratitude for those moments that have helped to grow who you are, the love that you are. And now bring all that love from your heart and send it out into the world. Send it out with our prayers. Send it out with our thoughts. And see that love filling up each of our loved ones, our friends, our family, our neighbors. See that love reaching the people we pass, those we come in contact with and those that we don't. See that love, that radiant love, that bright glow reaching all around the world, filling each heart, touching each heart. And give yourself the permission to receive it in return. Bring that radiant love back into your heart and just allow yourself to feel that flow. Allow it to fill you up. Allow it to comfort and soothe. And allow it to remind you of the truth of who you are. And now just bring to your mind's eye the vision of what love looks like as you embody it. How do you show up as love? What a beautiful thing. And just allow yourself to wrap yourself in appreciation for the love that you are and the light that you bring to this world. Bring your attention back to this room. Come back to this space, this time, this moment. And an acknowledgement and appreciation for the love that you are. And when you're ready to open your eyes, just feel a sense of gratitude for you, for this time, for this community that you are a part of. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to exhale with love with a smile as we return to that memory, the truth of who we are. absolutely beautiful. What courage it takes to get up and sing. Oh, it's just so beautiful. I love it. Thank you. So love. Love is our third week of Advent. And this seems like a really simple concept, doesn't it? And yet it's probably one of the most complicated. Love seems so simple when somebody's in front of us, doing what we want them to, and loving us in return. And then there's those other moments. Those moments when it may not feel as easy, like it's a little bit dicey, a little bit challenging. And yet, love is always there. It's always present when we're talking about an agape love. Now, personal love, this intimate love is so often conditional. And that's probably a whole other lesson for another time. That's a whole other conversation. But I want you to really think about, even in the moment, and let's think about a loved one, because that's where we most easily relate. Think about when a loved one wasn't doing what you wanted them to, or maybe hurt your feelings. The love was still there. Sometimes we just forget. I recently was listening to someone in a question and answer in a workshop I was in, and somebody was talking about how to love their father. They were really in a challenge because his addiction had affected the family in so many ways. And the speaker replied that in her experience with her sister, who had struggled most of her life, she said, she came to a point in her life when she realized that by trying to fix her sister's addiction, she forgot to love her sister. So I invite you to look past what may be going wrong and remember the love right where you are, including in the mirror. That reflection of who you are, that pure radiant love. Yes, there's those human aspects that make mistakes or say things we wish we hadn't, or wish we had accomplished the goals that we set, back in January, or wish we, whatever it is, fill in the line. But what if we could look in the mirror and truly love who we are right in this moment? And take that love out into the world without conditions. And that doesn't mean not having boundaries, that doesn't mean having to participate or play in everyone's sandbox, right? But how might you respond to life with love? What might that look like for you? I want to read you a short letter from Charles Fillmore that he wrote at Christmas in 1947. He said, "Dear folks, at the beginning of this letter, I warn that let your speech be yea, yea, and nay, nay. There are so many things I would like to discuss with you. What does the Lord say about the signs of the times? Will there be another war? How about the prophets who say that our civilization is about to end?" This letter was written in 1947, not last week. But he goes on to say, frankly, I had no direct revelation on any of these points. I only know that God, who controls this world through his people, is greater and far more powerful than all the destructive forces of the universe. And that if only a few of us stand steadfastly for truth and righteousness, they will prevail. And our civilization go right form to its fulfillment in the millennium. United in this truth, we shall have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. From 1947, Advent invites us to reflect on the birth of Jesus and the profound power of love that this event celebrates, and that symbolizes. And again, that seems so simple, and yet it can be kind of complicated. This time of year brings up so many emotions for people. And sometimes it's excitement, like a little child. Anyone else have their child show up at Christmas? I mean, my child comes out tonight often, not just in December, but there's something about that ornament on the tree or the light, those things that can bring a tear to our eye of joy. But there's also grief and conflict and confusion. And so how can we respond to that with love? Those moments don't always feel so loving. And yet love is always present. John 13:34, this is a line so many of us have heard in the scriptures. A new command I give to you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. Well, that's a tall order. There's been moments where there may have been another or two that every one of us, I'm sure, didn't feel love for in a moment. But it doesn't say allow them to treat you poorly or whatever it is. It just says love. So I want to read to you from a few of the statements that Charles Fillmore made in this Fillmore Study Bible. Breaking this down metaphysically, the simple scripture. And again, it's so simple, isn't it? Just love one another. It's that simple. You know, they're really hard at times. It's really complicated at times. So it's a new commandment I give to you. Charles Fillmore said, what does that mean? A new commandment of Jesus Christ is based on the impersonal principle of love, for love's sake, regardless of the attitude of those we love. The principle of love. Again, I so often think of Byron Katie when it comes to this, her book, Loving What Is. It doesn't mean love, you have to love the situation, but can you accept this is what it is, and I still have the choice to respond with love, to bring love to the situation. It doesn't mean you have to love the situation. So the next part, just like I have loved you. Paul said Jesus loved his disciples by seeing them as spiritually perfect. Our human selves, not always so much, but spiritually. Then the I am sees man's faculties as perfect also. Faith is unfailing, love divine, strength inexhaustible, judgment flawless, understanding perfect, will good, imagination true, power always sufficient, appropriation selfless, zeal always in order, wisdom unceasing, order divine. Those powers are always within you and available to you. Even when you're feeling like you can't access them. Even when you're like, I am not feeling very powerful, loving, or understanding in this moment. Even then, you have the choice to respond with love. He goes on in the scripture to break it down. He says, by this, everyone will know that you are my disciples. Charles said, although love is invisible, its effects are plainly manifest. The love of Christ, which remember, Christ is within, when fully exerted, has power to protect its object. It stirs those who receive it to express the ideals that are held of them. Those who express the love of the Christ and those who receive it are alike outstanding. So again, this manifestation is invisible, is from within. This is from the Christ presence within you. And I know there's those moments where our human selves, we beat ourselves up when we've done something we didn't like, and others. My favorite prayer, you've probably heard me say before, I learned a year or two ago from Imelda Shanklin. Father, forgive me for expecting in the human that which can only be found in the divine. In the mirror as well, forgive me for expecting in the human that which can only be found in the divine. And the divine is present as well within us. It's always true. It's both and. It may look gloomy outside, but the sun is still shining. You may not see it through the clouds and through the rain. You may consider this yucky weather. And yet, at the same time, the sun is shining, the ground is being nourished, the plants are being fed. Perspective is everything. And it's both and. Is one wrong and the other right? They're both right. They're both true. And we give meaning to those. We give meaning to raining on a gloomy day. Is it good or is it bad? I don't know, I see an opportunity to dance. I did say I'm in touch with my inner child, right? Not just when it's beautiful outside, and I love when it's beautiful outside. When the sun shines, I'm outside doing like this just to soak it up. But it's still there. It's always still present, like the Christ presence within you. Let's go a little further into this. In the Fillmore Study Bible, so that by this, everyone will know you are my disciples. But then it goes on, if you have love for one another. He says, what this means is with reference to the faculties, the spiritual nature and relationship of the faculties is made manifest when they are developed harmoniously and expressed in unity. It's a lot of words. So how can you express? That's really what they're saying is, if you have love for one another, and we all have love for one another, maybe not all others, we may not feel that all the time. But love is always present within you, but how do you express it? I mean, sometimes during the holidays, I see love being expressed as snapping and don't touch the tree and get out of the presents, and why does the cat have the ornament? And I mean, everybody's, flustered and there's not enough time, and on the radio they were talking about, did you start your Christmas shopping yet? And I mean, that question just sparks panic in some. This need to be perfect. This need to have this outer appearance look the way you want it. But what is each and every one of those things about? Why do you put up the tree? Why do you wrap the gifts? Excuse me. Isn't it from a place of love? And if it's not, why are you doing it? In fact, if it's not, stop it. The tree isn't required for you to have a Merry Christmas. Since my kids have grown and moved out, I decided, and I go back and forth every year, but at least every other year I talk myself out of the big tree and put up a nice little 3-foot tree that I love just equally. And I enjoy it, and they enjoy it when they come, and it's beautiful. And nobody says, why didn't you spend all that time putting up the big one when no one's here to see it? No one criticizes me for that, except for me. So I want to ask you this moment to bring to your mind, how are you loving you? How are you showing up as love for you? Because we have to start there. At the heart of unity teachings lies the principle that love is the fundamental energy of the universe. In fact, only from a deep sense of love do we breathe. Only when you truly are at this place of love do you feel lost when it shows up. Or do you feel like you want to do more? Why do we want to do more for our loved ones? Because we love them. And yet, that's not what love is. Love isn't the gifts under the tree, although they're lovely, and they're beautiful, and they're appreciated, and they're wonderful. And really, what is under the tree? But love. I saw a fabulous meme that made me giggle. And it had a mom that rolling herself up in a roll of wrapping paper that said, I'm wrapping myself in a lay under the tree and see how long it takes for the kids to notice that I'm a kid. I'm like, my kids would look and go, she's lost her mind. I'm not sure the next part would kick in. But yet, isn't that the truth though? Isn't all the things you do, whether you're baking cookies or wrapping gifts or feeding the homeless or whatever it is in the ways you express, isn't it simply your version of love, showing up as love? How do you show up as love? And how do you show up as love for you? Charles Fillmore often spoke of love as law of attraction. And of course, that force that draws to us whatever we focus on. If we focus on love, there's more love in our lives. Love can look like this big celebration and all of the decorations, for sure. And who doesn't love that? And there's some people who don't. But love can look like something so simple. Last night I was at Greenfield Village for holiday nights, dressed like an Eskimo. And at the end, they read letters from children from decades ago to Santa. And some of those letters sounded like, Santa, please don't forget my baby sister. She wasn't here last year, so I just want to make sure you know that she's been born now, don't forget her. And if I could just have, that's what she said, if I could just have an orange and a piece of chocolate, I would be so happy. Just wanted to make sure you didn't get her. Can you imagine? Can you imagine feeling so grateful for an orange and a piece of chocolate? Dear Santa, can you imagine? Love isn't about all the stuff, love is about the truth of who you are. So how do we respond with love no matter the situation we encounter? And that's the big thing, right? When everything's wonderful, it's easy to be in love. But even from those places where we're struggling, where we're having a hard time, and I want you to, right now, give yourself permission, shake it off even, and allow yourself to have all the feelings. It's okay if you're having a rough time. It's okay if you're feeling sad, if you're irritated. All of those are okay. How do you respond to them is the key. Feelings are always true. If somebody else is feeling like this Christmas is really not good, our job isn't to convince them that it is, but to love them right where they're at. So this, no matter what situation, no matter fear, no matter anger, how can we respond with love? Even in those moments. Let's look at the metaphysical meaning of love. What does this even mean? Love is the pure essence of being. This isn't a revealing word. The pure essence of being that binds together the whole human family. Of all the attributes of God, love is undoubtedly the most beautiful. In divine mind, love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. The great harmonizing principle known to man. Now, it talked about divine love. So divine love, it goes on to say, is impersonal. That's unconditional. It is love for the sake of loving. It is not concerned with what or who it loves, nor with the return of love. Ooh, let's pause there for a minute. Have you ever had that moment where you almost wanted to have a tantrum because it's like, everything I do for you, look at all the ways I love you and help you and assist you, and why aren't you fill in the blank for me? When we do, don't we do just from a place of love? Or are we doing to get return? Because most of us, if we really think about it, aren't doing for the sake of return. And I tell you, law of attraction is real. When we do our prayer of offering and tithes, what we put out is pressed out and runs over and returns, not always from the same source. Because remember, we are all one, and it will return to you from the universe, but maybe not from that person that you think it should come from. And we've all had those moments. Like, hello, aren't you guys supposed to be showing up instead? And I'll tell you, God bless you. Often when we're focused on who isn't showing up the way we want, we miss all those who are. Love is always there, just not always showing up from the person in the way you want. So, ooh, return of love. What if another person speaks a different love language, whether we're talking or in general, and they don't show up in the way you want, but the way you want them to, but they're still loving? We all love differently. Some show love through gifts, others show love through cooking. I like those guys. I prefer not to do the cooking. Please, show us love. With food. And yet, someone else will get mad if they don't show up with whatever package they think they should. So what if we loved because love is what is ours to do? Not because we expect someone to show up in a certain way to give it back. What if we allowed love to come to us from whatever source, and all the sources that are available to us? Even if that one particular one isn't doing it the way we want them to. We all have that one. Don't judge yourself for it. I mean, there's not a parent on the planet, I think, that doesn't wish sometimes their children will show up a little differently. You know, right? And yet we love them unconditionally. What if we could do that with others? Okay, let's see where else it goes. The revealed word also says, divine love, like the sun, its joy is the shining forth of its nature. Love suffereth long and is kind. Love envieth not. Love vaunteth not itself. It is puffed up. That's in 1 Corinthians 13. Because I would say love is the inner quality that sees good everywhere and everybody. Let's pause there also. Good everywhere and everybody. Okay, but this person's acting hateful. That situation is hurtful. Is God not there as well? God is love, and within us is that presence of divine love. And what if we are that love to bring into those situations, to bring into that life, to bring into that place? Even if somebody isn't acting a certain way, and haven't we all thrown a stone or two in a glass house? Come on, we're all human in this room. If you think you haven't, you haven't been paying attention. We've all said things, we've all acted in a way. And in those moments, didn't we deserve love too? If a child breaks a toy or throws something at you or says, you're just a whatever, fill in the cute little words they try to use instead of bad words, right? One of my friend's sons, he would always say, big head, when you get mad at you. I kind of loved it, so I'm like, oh, that happens, right? We probably know some people who show up with big heads. But in that moment, do you then consider them bad out of your life, you'll never love them again? Or do you love them anyways and go, you hungry, you need a nap? What if we give ourselves the same grace? Oh, look, I might need a time. Oh boy, I might need to eat something. I'm going to take a nap. How about I excuse myself in this situation and take my little attitude somewhere to nurture it, to adjust it? What if we give ourselves that same grace? And what if it wasn't just the children we had grace for? What about that family member or that co-worker? And you can go beyond. What if right there we remembered that love is there too, that God is there too, even when we can't see it in a way that we understand it? Love is that inner quality that sees good everywhere and everybody. Well, where's the love in the midst of a war? The love in the midst of a war might be that person that feeds another. Might be that person that warms another, that welcomes them in. One of my greatest events that I've always loved putting on was the Winter's Light. And in this event I would put on for families. We would include aspects of Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and Diwali and Christmas traditions around the world. And to prepare for that, I learned of many different traditions. One of my favorites is one from Poland. In Poland, they leave an extra chair at the table. And not only for people who don't have anywhere to go, but also for those no longer with them. What a beautiful thing. That is love. Everywhere present. Maybe in the midst of a storm, a war, whatever it is, love shows up as someone having that open chair for someone who had nowhere else to go. I've been there with nowhere to go on the holidays. Has anyone else had that moment where they just needed some form of love? That's one of the greatest acts of love I think I've ever received, is someone welcoming me in when I had nowhere else to go. So everywhere, every situation, it's possible. And I know it's hard when you think of certain situations, but even there, love is. It insists that all is good. There's a lot of yeah buts in there. Anybody have a yeah but? All is good, yeah but. I mean, have you turned on the news lately? Have you seen that cousin's behavior? Have you been in my family? Have you been? What about that going on? And there's big things and there's the little things we laugh about, but in our minds, those little things are big, aren't they? Those yeah buts are tremendous. But when that yeah but shows up, what's happening is fear is distracting you from the truth. Yeah, but this person, that situation, whatever is going on, I can't call that good. When you can't call it good, can you at least know that God is there? Back to the mustard seed, right? Faith of the mustard. Can you just know? You don't know enough to understand it. That often how isn't our business. We don't need to know how, even for ourselves, when we aren't feeling lovable. Have you noticed that people manage to love you anyway? People manage to forgive, even when you've acted out. I've heard of dear friends and they didn't feel like they deserved forgiveness because they just exploded. They were going through a lot of stuff, and they did it at a holiday, and they were talking to me about it. They're like, yeah, my whole family was there, and I just let them all have it. I'm like, well, are they still talking to you? They are. But now, because even in that moment, we might be human. Every one of us might be human. We have those moments, and it doesn't take away from the truth of who you are. If you spill paint on your shirt, it's still the same shirt. Refusing to see anything but good causes that quality to finally appear, utmost in itself and in all things. Hear that again. By refusing to see anything but good, it causes that quality to finally appear. Have you ever noticed when you love somebody, and think of a child, that's easy, right? So much easier to love a child unconditionally. And yet, remember, there's a child in each and every one of us. When the child is having that tantrum, that fit, what do they most often need or end up doing at the end? They're coming into your arms and being comforted. Sighing. Okay. And don't we all need that? Okay, and I've had those moments where let them. Mel Robbins talks about the let them theory. Let them have their fit. Let them do what they're doing. Let them not invite you. Let them, because then you get to decide your position in it. And I've had those moments where somebody has acted in such a way, and when they appear done, that's exactly what, are you done now? Okay, then let's move on. Let's go back to who we truly are. Love, in conclusion, the revealed word, it also says, love is the great harmonizer and healer. Whoever calls on God as Holy Spirit for healing is calling on divine love. Divine love will bring you to your own. Adjust all misunderstandings and make your life and affairs healthy, happy, harmonious, and free. In Romans 13:10 it says, love therefore is the fulfillment of the law. Again, that doesn't mean that we won't face challenges, that we won't face disappointments or difficult relationships. But instead, we have this choice of reacting to those things or responding with love, reacting impulsively out of all the upset emotions, or pausing and choosing to respond with love. We teach a lot of tools to do that. Maybe some of the ways you can show up as love is through forgiveness, through cultivating compassion, just listening to someone, speaking words of kindness. Maybe sometimes even just performing an act of service. And that might simply be nothing more than sharing the cookies you baked. If you're baking for the family, maybe you share some with the neighbor or with whoever it is. But by cultivating this love within ourselves and extending it to others, we transform our lives, which then transforms the world. We don't have to cure diseases or end homelessness or make everybody in peace to end wars. We just have to start right here within ourselves and extend it to just the next person. Just the next person. I don't have it in front of me, but there's a quote of people will not remember what you said to them, but how you made them feel. And I probably got that a little bit wrong, but that little bit of love, especially when someone's being unlovable, can be what turns it all around. What reminds them of their truth, what lifts them up out of that, whatever they were going through. And there's great power in prayer. It's a tool, and when you don't know how to be in love, when you don't know how to be loved, love yourself, love another, what if you just went into prayer? Thoughts are prayers. And sometimes we don't have to know the direction, the how, the why. We just go into prayer and affirm that love is everywhere present. And it shows up in many different ways, and we connect through that divine source. And we draw upon the power. I want to share with you before we close a song. I tried to show a radio a couple weeks ago. We had some technical difficulties, so I'm going to read it to you rather than try to play it. But the lyrics to this is the gift I want to leave you with as you think about how to respond with love in your life. And I really want you to think about that. Before I read this, really take a moment to think about a place in your life that doesn't feel very loving, or a situation. And it may be in your personal life, it may be in the world, maybe it's just with a single person that you just, if there's someone you want to fix or help or heal, how might you love them just where they're at, just as they are? If there's a situation where there may be something, a little bit of conflict or something where you feel those rough edges, and again, the holidays bring that up, okay? How might you show up as love in that situation? Or how can you respond with love? And I'll tell you what, sometimes responding with love sounds like silence. Sometimes it shows up as going into prayer. Especially in those moments when we may not have the capacity to find the words. When we're in our emotions, it's hard. So in that moment, this great power of the pause gives us that ability to access the love that is always within us. So the song is called More Than a Season. I heard it sung by Faith Rivera, and I believe Daniel Leon is also singing. Look at the time in the wink of an eye. It's Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Places to be, families to see, and all the things I rush around to buy. Slow down and find the wonder of a child. Because it's more than giving gifts to those we love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of. Like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant, and isn't that what it's all for? Maybe this year I'll show that I care by giving the most precious gift of time, where I can start and open my heart to be with those that mean the world to me. Slow down and see. This Christmas, let's light a candle. Hang Grandma's star on a tree, make gingerbread angels, be grateful for the life we lead. Let's take the time now to simply breathe, remembering what Christmas means. It's more than a season of giving gifts to those we love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of. Isn't that what love is for? It's Christmas, and the greatest gift we can give is to let love lead the way. There's a word that we don't often use in unity, but that resonates with me deeply, and I'm sure most of you have heard it. It's simply namaste. And I want to leave you with the meaning of that word today. The God within me meets and recognizes the God within you. Though we seek all different paths and adapt to our own beliefs, we are all made of the same energy and the same essence of God. If it's happening to you, it's happening to me. For the essence of namaste, we are one. So from that place, let us respond to love. And in the moments that we aren't sure how, let us pause and pray. The truth of you is love, and I see that in you. Thank you for allowing that to raise me from someone else. So let's take a deep breath and breathe that in before we sing or saying the Lord's Prayer. Sing. Let's take a deep breath again. Just allow that love to fill you up. Allow yourself to feel it in your heart. And if there's a part of you that's having trouble accessing the truth that love is within you, allow yourself to be open and receptive to feeling that love from others. As we are here to lift one another up in the moments that we forget how to ourselves. That's love. Remembering for one another when we forget ourselves. So again, take one more deep breath. Allow that love to fill you up, and then as you exhale, allow yourself to send it out. And feel the connection of that love in this room. As we sing the Lord's Prayer. And know that whether we spoke them out loud in our hearts quietly, we know and affirm that our thoughts are prayers, and as we think of one another, as we send out that love, that healing love, the energy to each person, to each situation. We know that right there God is and hears our prayers before we even think them. Today we pray for, send prayers out for Connie as she heals from the respiratory challenge that she's going through. We see her as whole and healthy. Today we pray for Reverend Anita. She's approaching the end of her life, the end of this time on this planet. Sleeping and resting, healing in a spiritual level. We see her finding peace in these moments. And we see peace finding us, and love prevailing. We see peace and love going out to each person we pray for out into the world, out into the season. And we acknowledge that love shows up in so many different ways. So as we take our offering in our hand, we remember that as we give of our time with one another, of our talents in all the different ways that we show up, and our treasures that we give to this community, to support this community, to support the spiritual home. And we know that the gifts that we give come from a place of love in our hearts, and then ripple out from this community into the world, spreading love everywhere we go, not only to those who walk into those doors, but through each of us that walk in and out, taking that love into our lives. So join me as we say and affirm our offering prayer. Divine love, through you, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give joyfully and easily. For the universe is my source, and the heavens is my nature. And so it is, we bless these gifts that we give. We bless the love that we give, and we affirm and know that through us, that Christ's presence goes out and blesses others. And so it is. Now, for a lovely song from our choir. They rehearse, they plan, they practice, they envision, and then they bring their courage and their love. This is a gift of love. And they don't withhold, they let us have it in such a beautiful way, so thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great